Welcome back to another episode of Welcome to the Industry under the New York Underground Radio umbrella. I'm your host, Big DeeMo. Today's guest, she started writing and doing her thing, being such a great servant of this country in the military. She was doing her thing. When she hopped out, we crossed paths. I started listening to how she was spitting, storytelling, lyrical mastery. She took it back to the DMV where she's from. She was doing hooks. She was doing features, showcases. I mean, the sky's the limit for this talent. Took a little break, and now you're re-emerging to reintroduce yourself. Let me welcome my guest, my sister in the industry and in life, Lyrical Suave. What's up?
What's
What up? What up?
how you
Man,
doing?
it's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute. What's up, sis?
Hey man, just doing me, working, just came back into the music scene after like what, almost 9 years.
That's crazy. Doesn't even feel like it. But we were talking earlier, and I was just like, I haven't emailed you, and like, I don't know. It's been a long time since I sent any kind of beats or anything that way. But we'll get that cracking again too. That's another day, another story. We can always get beats going. But what's going on since you reemerged, since you poked your head back out? How's the air?
The air is great. It feels different from the last time that I was in air. I came back full throttle, got a new single that's dropping on February 11th called The Messenger. It's from my new project called Runnable, which my intended date to drop that is going to be on 420.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely get into that. I remember like the day like you kind of stepped away, you kind of made the announcement like, hey, I'm gonna take a little break, focus on myself, spirituality, and some more stuff. And you focused on life and your personal life, and as you should, because as you know, the music industry or any industry of entertainment can wear you out, and you need those mental breaks. Um, so now you reemerged, but let's go back a little bit. Let's start back because there's a lot of people who know you all who we are back east, but since we buy coast pretty well with New York Underground all the way to Cali here, let's get people familiar. Like, because it's a thing. People always want to know where you started from, right? So what beat on the radio did you hear that you was like, well, had your freestyle into it, but then you're like, you know what? I think I could do this. What song was it?
Actually, to be honest, it wasn't even a song. It was actually the fact that when I was in the military, I needed an outlet and I didn't even have any beats planned. I was just freestyling in my head and it stuck. When I got out the military, I recorded the song that I freestyled and I don't really think I did much with it. I just wanted to get it put on wax. But that's actually where it started from, to be very honest. It started from me freestyling on my ship when I was in the Navy.
The heck was your freestyle and ship noises and waves and splashing against the side? Like king king, blah 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 blah. Like he's over there, like yeah, word word.
Accurate. The water thing is actually kind of accurate. I was actually in the process of taking my shower after I got out the kitchen and freestyling in the shower. So
That's
technically,
wild.
that's pretty accurate.
And then, so what was the play? Like, I'm going to freestyle and start writing and save all this stuff, and then once I get off the ship, I'm gonna hit it hard. I'm gonna wait to graduation, or when I retire. What was the play with that? Because that's a hard one to maneuver coming out of the military. Even though a lot of people come out of the military, become actors, become boxers again, professional wrestlers, whatever, make up time. What was it that you knew that coming off that shit? Because you were relatively still young when it happened, so you had lots of time. But what was going to be your play? Because if I remember correctly, especially when you were on the ship, we crossed paths when you were located on the West Coast, right? Like you were in
Yeah,
San Diego or something.
yeah, I was insane.
So, and then you were going to go back home after you're done. How did you configure all that?
Well, actually, I started recording right before I got out of the military. I had my laptop. I downloaded, the first thing I downloaded was Audacity. I hated that program, but
I hate that program too with a passion.
I
That
needed
GarageBand.
I needed something to use to record. So I was using that to
I
record,
like it.
but I didn't
Hunger.
have anywhere to actually upload it to. So I was just recording just to see if I could do it. But I talked to one of my cousins, not the one that I told you about earlier, but another cousin of mine, and we actually configured a plan. I told him when I make it back to Virginia and I get out of the military and I come back to Virginia, we were going to start recording. And we did. We had a couple people with us. We created our own little group. We called it Spaced Out ENT. And our first mixtape was a tremendous come up. And that's actually on Reverb Nation. It was like, I want to say like 20 songs maybe, like between five of us. And from there, it's like I just kept writing. I just kept recording and writing and recording. Then I had another cousin who had his own studio. So I hit him up and he actually engineered two of my albums. Actually, my first official album, Deeper Than Riches, then my second
I
one,
remember.
Because I Can. So he engineered both of those for me and I just kept going with it. Eventually, I started performing in 20
Excuse me.
technically in 2017. I had a competition where I came in second out of like 6 or 7
I
artists.
remember that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in 2018, March 2018 is when I actually officially started performing. I started at a club called Club Infusion in Richmond before it got shut down. And from there, everything just started catapulting after that.
Got you. Yeah, I remember the first album. I also remember that group album because we connected on. I think you were one of my first friends on Audio Mac. Like, I was, hey, we gotta check out this new program when it first came out, and
Yeah,
we both hopped on there. Yeah, yeah, and then I remember you were pumping that club on your timeline for some time, and it was getting up there. And then all of a sudden, it just shut down. Huh? Like
yeah.
they were like, we're done.
A couple of shootings that happened there, so I guess they were just like,
It's
it's
wild.
so they kind of like just shut the club down.
Wow, because of the shootings, right? And
Yeah,
trust me, we have our clubs out here that used to be mainstays around our area that shootings happen, and you know what happens next? A
yeah.
bunch of a bunch of jakes all around asking questions, and no more fun. How is it as a female rapper trying to come up in the DMV? Because that's a rough area musically. Like if you're trying, like I would think a lot of people put their hands on your forehead and try to keep you down. You know, it's like a dog eat dog world over there.
For me personally, I really don't think too much of it. I kind of just do what I do, and I kind of really don't. I don't know how it's gonna sound when I say it, but I kind of really just don't be caring about other people's like opinions and how they feel about female artists. I actually just do what I do and just keep moving forward with it, whether anybody else likes it or not. I just I just keep on moving with it. It is kind of hard sometimes because you do have people that expect female artists to be a certain way or rap about certain things.
Right. Yeah.
Me personally, the things that I be talking about, like when I be performing, like because I'm so small and I'm quiet most of the time, people be looking at me like, I mean, what's she about to rap about? But then when I get up there, I become a whole different person. And when I do start rapping, they be like, yo, like, where can I follow you? Like, we need to collab.
Right.
So you do have people that, they have their own personal opinions about how females here should rap or what they should rap about. But then you have other people that show
Right.
love for it. So I kind of just be moving through everything. I don't even really be caring, to be honest.
No, I feel that, and as you should just be focused on your road and your path. That's it. I remember John Ritter. He spit one of the hardest things I ever heard. He was just like, "Don't buy into it, good or bad. Just keep working." He was like, "It'll happen. Whatever's supposed to happen, it'll happen." He's like, "Just don't buy into it, good or bad. Just keep working, and you'll get to your goals." So I thought that was pretty deep. So with that, the club shut down. That was like your avenue. You know, how people opinions affect people's music being played out there, because obviously if someone's dirtying your name or drowning your name, it's a little bit even harder. And I know everybody's had to deal with that type of stuff in the industry. So getting past that, taking a break, and then hopping back out during that little break, you earned a nickname. How did you get the nickname Pastuh?
Um, well, it's, kind of funny. I was, going through my journey. A lot of things were going on. And my name had been Lyrical Suavay on Facebook, Lyrical LBF Suavay on Facebook. But I kind of remember going through whatever I was going through and just being vulnerable with the public and just kind of speaking truth for the most part. And sometimes like posting funny things along with that. And it's always people that would be like, preach, pastor, preach, pastor, preach, pastor. And eventually I was like, I should probably change my name to Pastor Lyrical. And my best friend, she was like, no, please don't do that. And I was like, no, because everybody did that. So why not?
Don't do that.
And I actually changed that was the point where I actually changed my name to Pastor Lyrical, but I used that name actually more so now. I still like speak things, but I actually more so use Pastor Lyrical as a comedy thing now, because I kind of dove into like the stand-up comedy thing at some point, aside from like the music,
Oh, okay.
spoken word. So I was kind of trying to figure out where my actual niche was, but I guess I came back to my roots with the music.
I got you. Okay, so you tried a few things during the break, and as you said, and it's because most humans don't know they have more than one talent for sure. There's different things that we're built for, individually. So I'm glad you got to try those things, but I'm also glad that you came back down to your roots. Now, speaking of your roots and getting back into the music, you do have a new single coming out. It's called The Messenger. Let's talk about it. And does it have anything to do with the phrase "Don't kill the messenger"? And it's coming off your new project, Vulnerable. Let's talk about both.
Yes, it kind of does have something to do with the statement "Don't kill the messenger." Um,
Oh, okay.
those words are not in the song, but it does have that kind of vibe to it. Basically, the song is pretty much, saying like people will say what they are, like, I'm real, I'm a rider, I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah,
And it's like, I'm telling you, no, they're not. They're not. And I'm about to tell you why they're not. So it's like, and it has a lot of profanity in it because it's necessary in my mind. But it's basically
got you.
telling you like these people are not who they say they are, and I'm about to break it down as to why they're not who they say they are.
Most people aren't. We know most people aren't. We've seen it too many times.
Exactly.
Okay, so and then so because that's that kind of song, you know, you almost have to say buckle up because you don't
Yeah.
know how it's gonna affect.
Buckle.
Buckle up because you don't know. Like, I remember watching an interview with Kurt Cobain's mom, and he had dropped "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and she was like, "Son, you better buckle up. The world is about to react to this." And and we know the story of what happened, but it's just one of those things. Like, you're almost gonna be too real with this track. This is definitely gonna hurt some people's egos.
Yeah,
You already know.
it does.
Okay, so yeah,
It
I
is.
see where you're going with it. So vulnerable in general doesn't mean vulnerable all the way me, but vulnerable subject, vulnerable. I'm starting to see what this project might be able to do. And then how many tracks are you going deep on it?
Um, probably going to be about 14, 15 tracks.
So full length.
Yeah.
That's what the game's missing anymore. Full length with, it's just because of how the algorithms work. It's hard to do those long plays anymore. Um, I can think of a few artists that always stuck to the program. They're like, nope, this is all you get. Like, this is all they pay me for, so this is all you get. And a lot of people don't know. Most of the time in the industry, no matter how long your album is, they're really only paying you for 11 to 12 tracks.
Uh,
So, right, like you think of M and Dre and all that, they got like 23 tracks on the song. A lot of that is just bonus, period, or tracks they did themselves, and that's why you see a lot of rappers come out with their own labels because it's like the hell with that. You know what I mean? Like I'm making
right.
money off all my yeah. So that's like if you pay attention to most old school rock albums or cassettes or even like a rapper like Vince Staples. You go look at their track listing, that thing don't peak past 12. This is all they're paying me for. This is all you're getting, bro. And their algorithm ready. Each song's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't have time. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Uh,
more 5 minute songs. The algorithm don't play. So everything's get to the pay. I don't know how long your new track's gonna be, but do you plan to come out with a video for it?
yes, my new track is roughly around 3 minutes and some change or a little bit less. I try to keep it under 4 minutes because I've realized a while
Correct.
back, people's attention span is not really that long anymore. So 3 minutes and shorter is what I'm always aiming for now with songs. Um, what was the second question?
Well, basically, it's just one of those things where if you're focused on the way the game's going, right,
Right,
and we see how everything is being judged, like I'm telling you, you got to buckle up, right? So
right,
you're coming out with this new track, and you're trying to get everything you can explained into that 3 minutes and 24 seconds, right?
right,
So what like the algorithm can change that, but if it's interesting enough, people will listen to it up to that long, right? So your track listing, you plan on doing 15 songs, and you're gonna keep them all relatively short. So how do you feel about that? Like trying to cramp? Remember, because it used to take 4 minutes to explain everything. You used to have three verses to explain everything. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I
like
the way
now you're being judged for what you leave in those 2 minutes. Like, oh, he didn't say nothing. Like, I didn't have enough time. Like, what do you want me to do that? 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And like I'm saying, like I go back to tracks like "Smell Like Teen Spirit." They weren't necessarily long, and when you listen to it, it just got to the point. So, um, like the Messenger, 3 minutes, it's getting to the point, but it's either a little bit slower, right, beat per minute, and that's why it's lasting that long. Because, like we're saying, you can't do 4 minute tracks no more. Like you just
right.
can't. You got to cram all that, and it's got to make sense. So, like, where are you at with that?
Actually, the way I've planned it is I look at all the songs that I already have and the songs the next probably like three, I think I have three more songs to do. And I'm looking at the whole track list. So I'm sectioning everything off. So I
Okay,
and that's speaking on a certain topic, then it goes into another section that's speaking on a certain topic, and then another section. So it's sectioned off on the project. So therefore, I don't feel like I have to put this particular topic into 2 to 3 minutes and where I
right,
speak fully. So it's like maybe two or three different songs that's speaking on that general topic for each section.
good.
So it's
I
like
like that.
So that way I don't feel like dang, I ain't got but like 3 minutes of the song. How do I put all of this in there? So it's sectioned off to kind of help me balance everything out.
It's crazy where the music game has gone, huh? Like it's like there's no
Yeah.
more three verse tracks unless you're just spitting crazy fast. Like yeah, ain't nobody got no rest
Yeah.
for that. But like, it's rough. But so after this project, what's next for Lyrical Suave?
I actually am already pre-planning the next project after this. So
Making up for lost time.
I have the songs, well, a few songs. It's probably going to be an EP. It's probably not going to be a full project, but I'm just trying to think of a name for it. And I'm already pre-planning the third project after that, which I have a name for that project. I just got to get the songs ready for it. So I actually pre-planned a couple of things after this project is released. So I have a couple of things.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So you're not taking no time to chill. You jump back out, and now you got that energy back, and now you're ready to do whatever you got to do to take your brand in the new direction you want to go in. Okay. How about plug us into all your social medias so we can find you?
Okay, so Facebook, you can find me on Pastuh Lyrical. That's Pastuh, not OR. I'm not ordained. So UH, not OR. Lyrical, that's Lyrikal. You can find me on Instagram at Pastuh_Lyrical. And on TikTok, you can find me as the same Pastuh_Lyrical also.
And that's all the socials you're on.
Yeah, those are all the socials. And previous music, if you want to listen to it, almost everything that I have is on SoundCloud and Audio Mac. But Audio Mac has literally all of my previous things on there. SoundCloud has
Right.
selected few of my songs that I put up there, but Audio Mac has everything else.
Yeah, Automac I would say has all your projects. I was tripped out when I was checking it out the other day. I was like, dang, I didn't realize she had that many projects on there. And then when I was signed with Sony, I had dropped a few. We had dropped at the same time. I remember at one point. But I just want to thank you for your time.
Of
Thank you
course.
for the perspective, and I'm glad that you came out of hibernation and giving the people a piece of your talent. I always felt like you never allowed yourself to fully get to your peak, and maybe now that's the time.
Yeah.
And hopefully, when this video drops, it has the correct reaction. But we already know what's going to happen. There's going to be some hurt feelings and sensitivity going on. But we need tracks like that. We need tracks that check us, and introspect. So I appreciate that. But definitely let us know when that happens, and we'll come back around and check you out in a few weeks to a few months and see what happens.
Oh, of course. Of course. I appreciate you for having me on the show, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to do it for another episode of Welcome to the Industry. I'm your host, Big DeeMo. That's Lyrical Suave, and we're going to catch you on the flip side.